The Iron Throne of Windsor, how William and Kate's ruthless new era struck fear into the heart of the palace. For decades, the global public has viewed the Prince and Princess of Wales through a lens of soft diplomacy. To the world, Prince William is the dutiful son, the charming heir who navigated the tragedy of his mother's death to become a beacon of stability. Beside him, Kate Middleton has been the picture of grace, the smiling mother of three, the champion of early childhood development, and the peacemaker who bridges generational divides with a well-timed photograph or a gentle public appearance. They are the golden couple of the modern monarchy, representing a future that is bright, approachable, and kind. However, a stunning new narrative is emerging from behind the heavy oak doors of Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle, one that paints a drastically different picture of the future king and queen. According to explosive reports from insiders, the smiles and waves mask a steely resolve and a capacity for ruthlessness that has sent shockwaves through the royal institution. The couple is no longer just waiting in the wings, they are reportedly operating as the monarchy's new power brokers, orchestrating the removal of liabilities and asserting a dominance that has left even Queen Camilla in a state of panic. The Siege of Royal Lodge. The catalyst for this revelation is the ongoing, bitter saga surrounding the Royal Lodge. For months, headlines have been dominated by the standoff between King Charles III and his disgraced brother, Prince Andrew. The Duke of York has stubbornly refused to vacate the 30-room mansion in Windsor, despite his retirement from public life following the Jeffrey Epstein scandal and the King's desire to slim down royal expenses. To outside observers, the situation appeared to be a deadlock between two stubborn brothers, a king trying to modernize and a duke clinging to the last vestiges of his former glory. However, insiders now suggest that the deadlock was broken not by Charles alone, but by the intervention of Prince William. The Prince of Wales reportedly played a pivotal, decisive role in convincing his father to strip Andrew of his remaining allowances and push forward with eviction. This was not merely a financial decision, it was a brand management strategy. William, with the full support of Kate, allegedly viewed his uncle's continued residency at the opulent estate as a stain on the monarchy's reputation, a lingering reminder of scandal that threatened the institution's integrity. In making this move, William has signaled that he is effectively operating as a co-regent, willing to make the hard, unemotional calls that his father has historically hesitated to execute. The steel behind the smile. Perhaps the most surprising element of this power play is the role of the Princess of Wales. For years, Kate has been underestimated by royal watchers as a figure of compliance, a woman who fits the mold and follows the rules. Yet, sources indicate that she was a driving force behind the decision to cut Andrew loose. Far from being a passive observer, Kate is described as being in lockstep with her husband, viewing the protection of the crown as her primary directive. The insider explicitly notes that the couple is perfectly capable of being ruthless. This terminology is jarring when applied to Kate, but it reveals a crucial evolution in her character. After 20 years of navigating the treacherous waters of royal life, she has reportedly hardened. She understands that the survival of the monarchy, and the future reign of her son, Prince George, depends on eliminating distractions and scandals. If that requires severing ties with family members who jeopardize the firm, she is reportedly willing to do so without hesitation. Queen Camilla's quiet panic. While the eviction of Prince Andrew settles a long-standing headache for the king, it has created a new, unforeseen crisis of confidence for Queen Camilla. Reports suggest that the Queen Consort is watching the ascendancy of her stepson and his wife with growing trepidation. Witnessing the cold efficiency with which William and Kate handled the Andrew situation, and recalling the absolute severance of ties with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, Camilla is allegedly terrified that she could be next in the firing line. Her anxiety is rooted in the brutal hierarchy of the royal family. Currently, her power is entirely derivative, it flows from her marriage to the king. However, Charles is in his 70s, and his reign will naturally be shorter than his mother's. When the transition of power inevitably occurs, William will become the monarch, and Kate will become Queen Consort. Camilla's status will shift to that of Queen Dowager, a title of respect, certainly, but one stripped of political influence. Sources claim this fear has manifested in defensive behavior. Behind closed doors, the atmosphere is described as thick with tension. While Camilla maintains a professional facade in public, insiders report that she has become petty and territorial in private, complaining to courtiers and attempting to assert a dominance that she feels is slipping away. It is a classic reaction to insecurity, clutching tighter to power the more it seems to evaporate. The ultimatum, suck it up. The response from the palace courtiers to Camilla's alleged behavior has been startlingly blunt. According to sources, the prevailing advice circulating among the staff is for the Queen to suck it up. This harsh phrase underscores the reality of the situation. Fighting against the rising tide of the Waleses is a losing battle. Camilla is being warned that alienating William and Kate is a strategic error. If she becomes a source of friction during the king's reign, she risks an isolated and lonely widowhood. The message is clear: the future belongs to William and Kate, and respecting their position is the only way to ensure her own security within the family fold. This dynamic is complicated by the long history between the women. For decades, Camilla was the outsider fighting for acceptance, while Kate was the popular addition who seemingly effortlessly won the public's heart. Now, faced with a stepdaughter-in-law who is younger, more glamorous, and backed by the immense power of being the mother of the future king, Camilla's insecurities are understandable. However, the ruthless pragmatism currently driving the monarchy has no patience for personal grievances. The lesson of the exiles. The terrifying reality for Camilla, and indeed for the rest of the extended royal family, is the precedent set by the treatment of the Sussexes and the Yorks. When Harry and Meghan attempted to negotiate a half-in, half-out arrangement, it was William who reportedly drew the red line. The subsequent exile of the Sussexes demonstrated that blood ties do not guarantee a place within the working machinery of the firm. Similarly, the situation with Prince Andrew, and by extension, his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson, who also resides at Royal Lodge, proves that even the king's siblings are not immune to the chopping block. Andrew represented the old way of doing things, a belief that royal status offered immunity from consequences and that lifestyle privileges were a birthright regardless of contribution or conduct. William and Kate represent the new way, a streamlined, accountable, and disciplined operation where liabilities are excised to protect the core asset. If the king's own son and brother can be effectively removed from the royal equation to ensure the institution's survival, a stepmother holds no special exemption. This is the logic that is reportedly keeping Camilla awake at night. A monarchy transformed. What we are witnessing is a fundamental shift in the operational philosophy of the British royal family. King Charles, a man known for his sentimentality and loyalty, finds himself caught in the middle. He loves his wife and his brother, but he is also a pragmatist who has waited a lifetime to ascend the throne. He understands that for the monarchy to survive in the 21st century, it cannot carry dead weight. In this context, William and Kate have emerged as the enforcers of a necessary harshness. They are clearing the decks. They are effectively telling the family that the monarchy is not an employment agency for relatives, nor is it a shelter for the scandal-prone. It is a high-stakes constitutional role that requires absolute dedication and a spotless record. The ruthlessness described by insiders is, in many ways, a survival mechanism. William grew up watching the chaos of the 1990s, the War of the Waleses, the scandals, and the damage done to the crown by personal indulgences. He appears determined not to let history repeat itself. If that means evicting an uncle or sidelined a stepmother to ensure a stable platform for his own reign and that of his son, he seems prepared to do so. Conclusion. The siege of Royal Lodge is about more than bricks and mortar, it is the defining battle for the soul of the modern monarchy. It marks the moment where the Prince and Princess of Wales stepped out of the shadow of their elders and asserted their authority as the true guardians of the future. For Queen Camilla, the lesson is stark. The era of the family firm, where interpersonal dynamics dictated status, is over. A new, sharper era has begun, one where utility to the crown outweighs sentiment, and where the smiling faces of the future king and queen hide a steely determination to rule on their own terms. The transition of power has effectively already begun, and as the dust settles over Windsor, it is clear that William and Kate are the ones holding the keys to the kingdom.